What's going on, guys? It's Corey from SuperKamiGuru9000, and welcome to my review of Naruto Shippuden, episode 279. There was so much filler this week, you could literally pour it over pancakes. So thick and rich. But in all honesty, I really don't have too much to say about this episode of Naruto. Really, it was kind of a rehash of what was going on last week, except that we have a different set of characters this time. Now, before we learned that a lot of the white Zetsus are infiltrating the Shinobi Alliance, and they're starting to pose as some of the other characters, and they're using this so they can assassinate people and take them down. In this episode, we actually get to see Hinata, Shino, and Kiba, and they're all sort of hanging out in this big-ass cave, and they're fighting against all these white Zetsus, and it gets to a point where they get stuck in the cave, and then they have this moment where one of them might actually be the white Zetsu, and that's where we go through the episode where we get to play the game, Who is White Zetsu? Is it Kiba? Shino? Hinata? And after walking around in the dark in a game of rock, paper, scissors, we do get to figure out who the white Zetsu is, and spoiler alert, it just happens to be Hinata. And that's, of course, when we figure out that this whole time that Shino has had this plan to figure out who it was, and during the rock, paper, scissors game, he was sort of having this Morse code thing he was doing with Kiba, and this is, of course, what led them to believe that Hinata was actually the white Zetsu. Shino takes down white Zetsu with this really cool tornado technique, which is really interesting. And then they eventually find Hinata, and they bring her back, and then they just sort of escape. And that's pretty much the end of the episode. You know, there's a lot of little things I didn't talk about, a little few moments that made me laugh. Speaking of fillers, the preview for next week's episode looks like a filler that looks really awesome. Immediately, it looks like Sasuke is going to be in the next episode, which is really, really damn cool. And then you have Deidara, the Edo Tensei version, and apparently he has escaped from the Allied Shinobi forces. You can see him fighting against, like, Mifune and a few other characters, so next week's filler looks really interesting. I can't wait to see it. So this was an okay episode. The animation was, let's face it, not really that great. It was kind of stiff at times, and some of the characters looked a little weird when they were just walking around. But still, it had a pretty nice conclusion, and if you like these characters, chances are you're going to really dig this one. But it was still an interesting filler. It's better than some of the filler I've seen in the past, so I'm going to give this one a 7 out of 10. Not perfect, but to be honest, it still entertained me. But you know what? This may be the first time I'm actually looking forward to a filler. The one next week, it looks pretty cool. How did you feel about this episode? You can let me know with your comments below. Remember, guys, if you really want to support SuperKamiGuru9000, make sure and hit that like button and give this video a thumbs up. It's really great and allows our video to be seen all over YouTube. That concludes this review today. SuperKamiGuru9000. Out.